I've seen so many videos on the internet, and I watched a lot of people say the same thing over and over again. And what they say is, what drives you, for example, and they say the fear of being average. Like, I don't want to be average. Put on this hard work so I don't be average. And honestly, I don't know how to understand what is the point of not being average. I mean, yeah, I kind of understand, but that's not where I'm leading. What I want to say is, I'm okay with being average. Like, I'm totally fine with being average in running, in waking up early, in eating healthy, and so many things. Like, everything in the world except one thing, I'm okay with being average. And, I'm okay with being average and, I don't know, going to the gym. Like, what is the average person's amount visiting gym? I'm okay with that. Like, I'm not trying to be better than everyone else, and I'm not saying that is what they are trying to do. I'm fine. Like, I'm okay with being average at playing the guitar, at making these videos, at reading. But there's only one thing that I'm not. I don't want to be average. And, and that thing is acting. Because that's something that I love more than anything in this world. And I'm not okay with being average in acting, but I'm okay with being average in everything else, It's totally fine. Because I think if I, for example, would try to be better at everything at once, or try to learn, I don't know, 2 languages, unknown languages to me, for example, French and Spanish, I studied, I started to learn French. I know nothing. I absolutely know nothing in French. And that is very, I don't know, weird, because a month ago, or even more, I told all my friends that I'm studying French, and sometimes sometimes I will throw in this like French words. For example, like we had a rehearsal yesterday, and we were doing a song, and someone asked, how was it? Like, how was the song? And I said, très bien. As much as I know, très bien means good, but it doesn't have to be, because it might as well not. Okay, I'm going somewhere away from the theme of this video, the topic of this video. So if I were to start learning 2 languages that I don't know, French and Spanish, at the same time, that would be so confusing. And so, I probably wouldn't learn any language. Like, I'm not saying perfectly, but I wouldn't learn it to the extent as if I would only learn one language. If I would focus all my time around learning French or Spanish, yeah, I would be better at it as if I didn't. Okay, these grammar sentences really just make me crazy. But you understand what I'm saying, right? The same thing is with being average. I used to believe that I have to be like the best in everything, and that I have to wake up every morning at 6 and hit the gym and hit that, and that, which also made it so hard for me, because the gym in my city opens at 8, so I wake up at 6 and I'm just like, okay, what should I do? I just remember the story. A year ago, I didn't know that the gym I go to, opens at 8. I went on their website and it said 7 a.m. And so I exited my house at like 6:50 and got to the gym, and I see that they open at 8, and I just turned around and went home. That was just the story of my life, And then when I got home and it was close to 8, I'm just like, I don't want to go. Like, honestly, I don't want to go. But I went anyway. I don't really care about being the best person in the gym, or being the smartest person in the room, or being the best at playing guitar or piano or singing or making videos or painting or anything, the stuff I love. Let's think of the stuff I love. For example, reading. I love reading. I love playing on guitar and singing and making these videos and writing. I like to talk, but I think I'm an average person in like the amount of talking I do, That's this amazing opportunity for me to just talk into my camera and into my microphone and just send it out in this deep black hole which called internet, and maybe it will reach some people that need to hear it. Maybe it will not. I don't really care. It's like a diary of some sort, but not really, because you keep your diaries. But with the YouTube videos, you just like throw it like in a black hole. What happens will happen. But what I want to say by saying all this is that it's totally fine to be average, in things you don't really care about. Like, I care about reading, but I love acting more, and I would want to say that I spend more time working on my acting than I do any of these things, but lately I have been procrastinating when it comes to acting, and I couldn't just understand the reason why. Also, I haven't given myself the time to understand why. I haven't sat down and thought of it. Mostly I just try to escape by TV shows and movies and stuff like that, which is not a bad thing, but that happens, that happens also. But I still like doing it. I still like the idea of it, and sometimes I'm thinking maybe that's all. Maybe I just love the idea of it, just the idea of it. But then I remember all these rehearsals that I used to do when I was in theater since I was 6, and I remember doing all these rehearsals with older kids, and I was one of the youngest actors there, if you can call me an actor. I was 6. I mean, yes, if you act, you're an actor. If you paint, you're a painter. So yeah, you could call me an actor. And I remember doing rehearsals with them, and I was so little, and I would go over the whole script, the whole play with my mom, and I don't know why, but I would remember every single word of every character, and if they would forget some words, I would be just like, and then he said, no way, and I would just say, and I would help them. And I remember it was like a Christmas special thing, and there was a guy, he was he was younger than me by a year, I think. I was 10 or something, and I know that the next lines are his lines, but he's silent. He doesn't even, he looks like he... I don't know how to explain it. He looks like he will not say anything. He thinks it's someone else's lines. So I'm standing next to him. There are some people between us, and I'm just saying to him his lines, and he's like, that was so fun. The whole experience just, amazing. But what I think, when I was a kid, we weren't really trying to play someone. We were just learning lines and trying to say it in the way that people would understand. I remember doing tongue twisters with a nut in my mouth. They would put a walnut in itself, and I would put it behind my cheek. I would put it in my mouth behind my cheek, and I would say tongue twisters, just so I don't know what it does, but because of going to theater so young, I learned to read faster than any of my classmates, and I was saying things in the way people would understand. But also, I had a problem saying R. I couldn't say R, not exactly this sound, R. I couldn't say that, because English is not my first language, so obviously they didn't teach me to do R. They taught me to do R, because it's the sound that is more familiar in this place that I was born in. So anyway, I think that everyone just has to find a thing that they are good at, But also, it's such a paradox. I thought so many videos that you get good at the thing, and then you develop passion for it. And it's so hard, because what if there are people that never acted, but they want to, act? They feel, I don't know, if I what is the thing I've never done? I've never played the piano. Like I've played the piano, like parts of piano, like parts of piano. I played like a little parts of songs, but I never really gotten into it, you know? I don't understand the whole chords on piano. It's so hard for me. All this like sheet work, like the fact that you need to read from a sheet to play, but there's also chords, but I don't know, it's so hard. Like on a guitar, it's easy. It's 6 strings and, you know, everything's done. On piano, it's not. And I know so little about piano. And if, for example, I would just sit and feel that, okay, I want to be a pianist. I don't really know what I'm talking about because I don't know anything about piano. So maybe it is true that you need to, you know, I don't think necessarily to get good at, but, you know, you could be terrible at something but still love it, you know, and that's how you get better, because I don't exactly understand how can you get better at thing if you like, do you like it or you just continuously do it? Because if you like it and you continue doing it, that's passion. But the most important thing is that you have to start. You know, if you feel like you have passion for something, just start. And yes, it could be hard. There's this thing as rule of thirds. Third amount of time while you will be pursuing your dream, it's gonna feel like amazing. You will be happy. It will be so cool and so thrilling, you know. Then the other third amount of time, it's gonna feel, yeah, okay, like, okay, sure. And the last third amount of time, it is gonna feel like, oh my god, it's so terrible. It's so, you know. But also, I read such an amazing book, Magic. Yeah, the book is called Magic. That's why I'm a wizard. But I still haven't gotten my letter from Harry Potter, from Hogwarts, not from Harry Potter. It's called Big Magic: Creative Living Beyond Fear, and there were so many amazing parts in that book, and that I remember one part that said, maybe not in this book, but I read it somewhere, that said that you cannot feel passion or like, you know, like motivation or passion if you're not going to do that thing, you know. And that is the case with me. I haven't been like in like acting for the last month, and I feel so terrible because of that. But also I have not like did any action, and I was just waiting for inspiration to strike, and inspiration is not gonna strike if you're not gonna do anything, you know. If you could just sit and do the same thing every day, it's not gonna strike. You have to do things differently every day, and you have to put in the work. It doesn't matter if you don't like to do it or you love to do it, or, you know, you just have to. And in my case, I love to do it, but it takes me some time to like get it, you know. Okay, so is there such a thing as being too honest? Because last week, me and my friends were in the cafe, and we were talking about something. We were talking about someone, and my friend said, he's so straightforward and blunt as you are. And I'm just like, no, I'm not blunt. Like, tell me the last time I was blunt. And she's like, and I said, if I were blunt, No, I didn't say it like that. I mean, I was irritated at the time, you know, and I said something like, or I thought it, if I were blonde, I wouldn't have friends, you know, or, no, I said, believe me, I am not blonde with you, like, with you guys. And she said, like, what do you mean? And I'm like, oh man, why did I say this? But honestly, like, there's so many things, and I'm honest, and I'm not gonna say that everyone is perfect and no one ever irritates me, but there's so many moments when people are just so insane and so, I don't know, I just don't understand them. And I just sometimes, maybe because I have introverted personality, And whenever I'm with people for long periods of times, or when they talk about things that I don't really care about, like gossiping, or we're talking about, I don't know, mostly gossiping, or just being on their phones, or, talking about like things I don't know about, like things I don't really care about, like bags or clothes or someone else, like what I was trying to say. Oh my god. I'm just having such deep conversations here. It was a joke. I'm screwing with you. And sometimes when those instances come, I'm just like, oh my god, get me out of here. Or like, I mean, when they talk about it, and when they talk about things they're not interested in, or the things like I don't like when other people talk about, or jokes that are so highly inappropriate to other people and are offensive to other people, but there are some people that still think it's funny. I just listen to it and I'm just like, why am I even here? I want to go home, But it would be so impolite of me to just go home right now. And there are so many moments like this when I just understand that this is about nothing. Conversation is about nothing and not gaining anything from this conversation. And I just want to go home. And I've been sitting and like having nothing, no input and no benefit from talking to that person or being in that moment, or I don't know, anything, I could be at the gathering, I don't know, any kind of gathering or anything like that, where there are a lot of people that I do not know, and I can talk to someone, but I'm not the kind of person who's gonna go around to everyone and just like, hi, how are you? What do you do? For me, it's better to look in with one person and just talk with them, not with everyone, to have small conversation with everyone, because that is torture for me, And if I'm not having any meaningful conversation with someone, I will just walk away, But there are also sometimes moments in like friendships and stuff like that when you don't really have meaningful conversations, And there are moments when like that person really irritates you. There's moments when you look at them and think like, why did you just say that? And maybe I'm a bad person. Maybe it could be. Maybe I'm an awful person. Maybe there are so many explanations to that one, but it's just the way it is. I also think if we were too honest with each other, we would never like have friends or significant others, or we would have friends and significant others, but less, and they will be very, very, very like for life, because you tell the person everything you don't like, everything you feel, everything you think of them or the situation, and they know, But I think that it is also such an important part of life to flatter other people, to give them compliments. And if, for example, someone like, oh, do you look flattering in this dress? And you're like, no, really, you look like a... Well, that just kind of lowers someone's self-esteem, right? But if you're gonna say, yes, you're killing it in this dress, queen, blah, 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 it is gonna level up their confidence, And I don't know, if we were only to tell truth to each other, we would probably end up with very strong relationships. But I think with people like, oh, I don't know, it's such a hard like thing to think about, because I just think if I were honest with my friends, what would it be like? If everyone would be honest with me, I don't like, for example, today with teenage gatherings from church, and which is basically like guide the teenagers and like play some fun games and stuff like that. And usually I don't really try to connect with people who are my age there, who also like play games with them and stuff like that, because I don't like forced conversations. I don't like just coming up to people and saying, hi, how was it? Like, how are you? That was great. I will let natural conversation flow, but other than that, I'm gonna be in my thoughts. I think it's everything I wanted to say to you. I'm gonna go and make myself some dinner. I'm gonna make brown rice with tofu and vegetables. because yum, amazing, yummy. Also, so what I wanted to say, not for people, just for me in my future. I am plant-based. I have not eaten meat in like 2 years, I think, and I've been plant-based like a year and a half, something like that, some give or take. And like a week ago, I was so tired. And well, I decided to order margarita because I was so hungry and I didn't want to make anything for myself. And like there are so little options for vegan. Like the only thing I could order is vegan sushi, but I knew that they would not like feed my hunger, you know. And plus I would have to wait longer for them. And I ordered margarita pizza and I'm like, okay, they're only like mozzarella and like tomato and tomato sauce. That's fine, you know. And I ate the whole pizza. So what happened is I felt the reason I don't eat, like I'm plant-based, is because I'm lactose intolerant. That's the reason I don't eat, you know, like milk and cheese and stuff like that. And so I ate that whole pizza. I felt awful right after. And I felt awful for a few days. And then my whole face just covered with pimples. I don't remember the last time I was so covered with pimples. Like my whole face just screamed, don't ever eat pizza, you know? So it really does suck. Like it sucks so much. I don't like it. I just wanted to eat pizza. And right now, I don't want to go and make something for myself. I just want to, you know, order something in, you know, but I'm not gonna give in into temptation because I have been eating awfully lately. And also, there was a moment in my life to which I was like strictly vegan and I never eaten anything. And I was like, I checked the ingredients and stuff like that. And I went to camp where the, you know, food was limited and there were not vegan options. And I'm just, okay, I'm gonna eat this like cheese, like this bread with cheese because that's all I got, you know? I mean, the camp was great. The food was awful, but the camp was great. And yeah, and I started like that and I ate ice cream and like stuff like that and blah blah blah. And then I came home and I'm just like, oh, I just want some pizza, I just want some ice cream, I just want this thing, or this chips that have milk in them, but there's not a lot of milk in them, you know, right? So I don't know, my values are down in the toilet by now, you know. But I feel like if there's something I haven't tried or something I really want and there's milk in it, I'm gonna try it, you know. If there's meat in it, dead animals, I'm not gonna try it because I don't like it. I've never liked in my life dead animals. The only thing I ate was chicken and I was so picky. I was such a picky eater. I would eat like, I don't know, I don't think I would eat like even 100 grams of chicken a week. So here's that. So yeah, here's that. Interesting. Yeah, that's all I wanted to talk to you for today. So I love you. Bye. There's a button that mutes this mic and I always wanted to try